Leadership to me is guidance. I think the course gave me great insight into what I had been as a leader. I treated everybody in my team like the inner child model. I felt I had to fix things for them. I felt I had to save the day. And I thought that made me a good leader because I was fixing people's problems and they had to call me and they were dependent on me. And I thought that showed that I was a good leader. But the course showed me that isn't getting the best of your team. You have to mentor them, you have to help them grow, and fixing things and solving things all the time isn't bringing out the best with everyone. It's not helping the team be as best as they can. It showed me how to mentor and guide, and I think that's what leadership is, mentoring and guiding. I wasn't letting them see how strong they could be because they would get to level A and I'd say, I'll get you to level B, don't worry about it. Instead of getting to level A and me saying, so what do you think you could do to get to level B? Which is what I would do now. I leave the ball much more in my team members' park so that they can grow and flourish, and then we get more ideas and are more dynamic and fluid as a team than if we're just getting my ideas of how to get everybody to the next level. That's such a shallow team, really. So that's what I think leadership is, the guiding and the mentoring, and I think I learnt that a lot from the course. What I got most from the course was identifying my values. So on day one, we had to identify what values were the most important in our life and in our career and as a whole being. And those values had always been there, but they can get all mixed up and confused, and identifying them then really helped me decide what I wanted to achieve, what I thought was a good outcome for my teams, what I would advocate, what I would fight for, how I wanted to lead my role and my teams through those values. And I've kept them on my wall because they were tangible now. Once we did that in the group, we were able to write down our values, identify them, draw the pictures. That picture is up on my office wall. And often, if I'm trying to decide which way to go or what the next step should be, I look at those values and say, should we be moving on from this way? Should we be going back? Should we be fighting for something? And if I stick to those values, I feel like everything else clicks into place. And it was at the start of the course, and everything in the course made sense after we identified those values, and it's how I use them in my everyday work now. So my confidence definitely grew whilst I was in the program, and I think how that helps me as a leader is it makes me more decisive. It makes me believe that I should be in the role that I'm in and that I have the ability and the skills to make the decisions, make the planning, be the manager and leader that I want to be. It gives me the confidence to do that. But at the same time, it gives me the confidence to reach into other people's skills and mindsets. Before, I might have thought, I better not ask those questions because they might think that I'm not good enough at my job, or I might not be able to make those decisions. Where now, I'm confident. I'm confident as a manager. I'm confident I should be where I am. So I can recognise that it is so much better if I ask other people for their skills and ideas and strengths. And the confidence gives you both. It gives you the decisive ability to make decisions and plan, but also gives you the ability to reach out. I think you're Kristen's coaching and the ability to say, look at what you do here, and look at what you've achieved, and look at what the 360 says, and let's grow on that. Let's grow on what you've done and identify who you are and identify what you can give. And suddenly you start thinking, somebody has recognised that. It's not just me thinking, I think I can do that. I think I'm all right at doing that. Somebody's actually saying, oh my goodness, look at that. And it feels fantastic because we don't recognise each other in this world. And your circles at the start, where if somebody had an achievement in the group, we praise that. We don't cut down the tall poppies. We praise it and say, look at that. Look at what that achievement is. And it makes everybody strong. It makes everybody resilient, and it makes everybody believe in themselves. So the I can't even say it now. The transformational program was very beneficial to me because of the different layers and the depth that we could go into. So some of the classes, the group classes, were great, and you learn specific skills in them. You really learn, identifying how to manage a team, identifying what sort of manager you are. It's so skills based, so you can take all of that on board. The coaching is so personal, and so let's look at who you are and what you can achieve, and it is so uplifting and insightful. So there's the skills through the classes, there's the in-depth personal analysis as a manager and leader in the coaching sessions, and then the 360. How can somebody not benefit from the 360? You get to see that everybody is willing to share your strengths and your challenges, and how can we grow without those? And a thing such as 360, where it's confidential and people are just giving you that information, you don't get that information anywhere else. It's very hard to get. And then to put the skills from the classes into it and the personal coaching into it, you just get such a big package. The 8 weeks really worked for me because we bonded as a group. And I was in an outlying department of the hospital. I didn't know many people in other departments. That bond has been so incredibly good and beneficial for me to learn about how other people are in the hospital, to use those contacts and to bond of, we are all amazing people. Let's boost each other up. Let's advocate for each other. Let's support each other. And that 8 weeks really added to that. You can't get that bond from a 2-day session, and you certainly wouldn't get the bond with you as a facilitator and coach from a couple of days. The 8 days really allowed us to bond as a group and to learn about each other's strengths and skills that we wouldn't have been able to over a shorter course of a couple of days. The 8 days really helped us find out who we were, find out who the other people were, find out how to learn from their strengths and how to have insight into your own challenges. You don't open up like that with people after 2 days. But by the end of the 8th day, we were all very bonded and could recognise all those things and pull from them. The benefits to the organisation is that as a leader, I now know how to grow a team. Not just manage a team, to lead a team, to get the best out of every individual staff member, because I want them to grow. I want to help them grow by mentoring them and guiding them. I'm not just fixing solutions. I'm not just being a manager. I'm being a leader. And so with that, if my team is growing and people in my team feel more enabled and they feel more skilled and they feel more confident, every staff in the hospital, it's a flow-on effect of we're just building better teams for the hospital, and the organisation thrives if everyone of its staff is being motivated and skilled and appreciated. And that's the sort of leader you can't become after these courses. You become a leader that wants to motivate, that wants to grow everyone in your team and acknowledge what everybody is, and that's what the organisation gets back. So leadership in action, it gives you insight, and be prepared for the insight, because you look inside and there are things that you never realised were challenges, and they are challenges, and it identifies it. But being able to do that just helps you grow. And I think if you want to do leadership in action, you want to grow. You become a better manager, you become a better person. Everything in life is very much put into perspective, especially in your career life. What do I want to achieve? What do I want my team to achieve? Where am I going to go? And if you want to be a leader that is inspired to see where you're going to go, you go leadership in action.